Let's say hello to Jinx. Hello, Jinx.
Hello,
Hello, everyone.
everyone. Hello.
Yeah, Ark was already starting with 24 minutes from last. Just a dozen gang. Jesus, it's never going to end. I swear, Marcos is going to become either 1 kilo or 24 minutes, one or the other. But yeah, thanks a lot, guys, for the support. But today we have Jinx. Let's talk to Jinx. So, Jinx, I've known you for quite a while now. Um,
Yes.
I think Lens, is that where I met you?
Mostly lands and mostly when Level Academy started ħanejdulek. Emmek jisna
Ah,
l-tabi intqajna fil-bidu, you know?
I don't know if it was early. I think Lens, though, my first I've met you. Land and the gym are at the lounge for sure.
It is highly possible ħanejdulek.
Ah, I,
Game.
I, I think so. I think so. And you're not on the stream. You're also a player because most people who've spoken to the now were more streamers. You started more from esports. I'm assuming that was your first like thing you got into like seriously into the community. Like I think it was competing rather than streaming. Cool.
Yes. Mostly for competitive gaming. Streaming, like, I went for it to give it a chance, and I do enjoy streaming a lot. But with work and schedule, it's a bit hard to get. You need to have your you time and your
Yes.
relaxing time. So currently at this stage, it's a bit hard for me to include streaming as well in my schedule.
Right. But playing is a must too.
Yes,
And
always.
and I see you on other people's streams also, as I notice. You're quite active on
Yes.
quite a few local streams. And like I said, like I'm not calling you old, by the way, but when I say you're a veteran, as in like you're one of like out of all the people I think I've had on the podcast till now, apart from Max, it's you I think who I've known longest through the scene. So let's start with the usual. Like, where did it start for you? Where did you start gaming? Like, what was your first like game? Let's start from there. Like,
It all started, of course, from the Legend PlayStation 1. Just simple console gaming. My most favorite PlayStation 1 game was Digimon World.
oh,
It was
nice.
a big meaning to me, Digimon World. And then, of course, I had my PlayStation 2. Then I had my sister's computer. Then I had my sister's laptop and so on. But my first ever computer game was Wizard 101. It's a strategy game, and then MMO as well.
On
But
what platform did you play it? I don't know what that game is. Wizard 101. I'm actually looking it up right now.
it has its own. It's just its own platform. It's not on Steam. It was on Steam, but I don't think it's on Steam anymore. But
So
it's
this is
mostly like,
PC, if you were saying, not a console.
yes. No, this is
Okay.
PC. It's an
Okay.
online game, Wizard 101.
Ah,
I remember my cousin introduced me to Wizard 101, and back at that time there wasn't like Skype. We had no idea about Xfire, so we just used to sit on our like 2 cordless telephones. So we're just like this playing games all day
on the phone.
straight on the phone. And then my mom is like, I need to use the phone. I'm like, wait, I'm in a battle. But yes, I remember also I did try to install League of Legends. That's where it mostly blew. And I couldn't. I didn't have a good PC for it. It was just giving me an error. I remember loading into a
Shit,
game
it
for the
won't
first
run.
time.
Oh, crap.
Yes. It took me 15 minutes to load. And I think this is like, I'm talking about 12 to 13 years ago. And then it just gave me an error that, hey, you can't play this. I'm like, oh, damn, man, I really wanted to try this game out. But then I managed to get my sister's laptop and I managed to install it. And it was just, when I got into League of Legends, I started to go like into way bigger games like CSGO, then Overwatch came, then I got my own PC, then I got a PlayStation 4, and it just
Everything.
started growing by itself.
So your sister was a gamer too, or she just happened to have a laptop that can
No,
run
she
it?
just happened to have a laptop, like she was at school, so she
Ah,
needed
okay,
to have a
okay.
laptop, you know.
She just had a better computer, so you could run your games on it.
I was the plan B, so it's like, hey, my sister got a new laptop, here, take her old laptop.
Okay, alright.
You
But
know?
you could
But
run
then,
League, and then you discovered competitive. And you
yeah,
discovered it. Did you know there was a local scene straight away? You like knew people
yes.
playing it? Okay, so you knew
Yes, so
already.
a Maltese guy actually introduced League of Legends to me. A dear friend of mine that unfortunately has passed away this year
Oh, shit.
in the motorcycle accident. I don't know if you guys know him, Andrea Lamango. He's like
Oh, yeah.
he
I've
was a really
heard,
big friend of mine.
I've heard
And,
of him, and I know
and
friends who know him. I don't know him personally.
yes, he was the one that actually made me start playing League of
That's
Legends.
so
I
cool,
remember
right?
going on 3v3, Twisted Tree line and whatever. And then I met this other friend, and he told me, listen, there is League of Legends Motor Association. I was like, okay, cool. I'm gonna join this group and make some new friends and start playing with Maltese people, instead of playing alone or with just this one guy or another. Of course, at that time, I was like still very young. So the things I used to say or post or whatever, they were like nowadays very cringy, we say. And people used to make fun of me, of course. And I don't blame them. I was something to make fun of.
You were young.
But I still made a lot of friends. People knew me for who I am, and then people mostly started knowing me through the League of Legends tournaments and whatever and so on. It just started growing slowly.
At least you knew there was a community. I remember when I started CS, so we were talking about a lot more than 20 years ago, I think. I remember playing, and a friend of mine telling me, there's a Maltese public server. I was like, what? And I remember going on the server, and the first person I heard was Dissa swearing. And we were laughing because when we used headsets with speakers, and then we used to fucking laugh on that server. All right, so cool. So you knew there was a community, so you wanted to play even more because you knew what there was out there already. Did you
Yes,
feel,
yes. Thank God I met the community because I always met different people. Everyone gave me some new tips, and it was
Exactly.
nice to meet new people.
And like I didn't used to have that. I didn't have friends at school who played it, and when I was at school,
Yeah.
no, when I was at school, there wasn't like the online the way in any way or form like there was today at least. But
No,
I can
no.
imagine even going back to school and talking about the games used to be fun and shit like that because I see kids do that at school now. Like,
Unfortunately, I didn't do that because in secondary school it was just a female school.
okay, so you didn't have a lot of gamers with you.
No, no, I didn't even have friends in school, to be honest. I was pretty a loner because I didn't manage to find that one person that I am able to communicate with about the things I love, and that was gaming,
All
you
right.
know. So it just came a phase where I only had guy friends.
And you got probably influence from the guy friends, I'm assuming, to get into gaming
Yes,
most, not from.
yes,
This is the thing.
very.
When you look at stats, it says that casual gamers, it's pretty equal, 50-50, women and men. It's when there's esports where it's not equal at all, the numbers. But in Malta, it's not 50-50 in any way or form.
No.
In Malta, it's like 80-20, if it is even.
Yes.
As in, there are a lot of young ones, for sure. They're just not in the community. That's what maybe we don't see. Because when we do, like, for example, classes with St. Joseph, there are a lot of gamers there, but they're not in the community. Maybe they're really young still, so they still have to show themselves, I guess. But I don't think there are that many. Like do you like meet a lot of girl gamers in Malta, or it's
No,
no way?
no, not at all. Like it's actually really hard to spot one. And most of the time when you meet another girl gamer, let's say that, they either be like, she thinks she's better than me. I can beat her in this game. There's a lot of jealousy going on.
That's
Like,
that's women and
why?
everything, Jinx. That's
Let's
if you were
team
doing
up.
hairdressing school, you would a lot of yeah.
I
There's
know
that a lot.
it's like so it is really hard to. First of all, as I said, you don't find much, and some of them we know that there are good Maltese girl gamers, but they're hidden.
But what do you
They
mean by
don't.
hidden? As in they're not like talking within the community, but they play at home? Because how do you know they're good if they're not like competing? You know what I mean? Because a lot
I
of people are good
personally have
alone.
I personally have a friend of mine. She's a female and she's a gamer. All she does is play games in her free time. And she is actually really good, but she likes to keep herself, I'm not gonna say private, but she doesn't take it serious in like the esports and whatever and so on. She just, for example, if she plays League of Legends, oh my god, man, I'm losing words today. If she's going to play League of Legends, she's playing really good. She takes it serious, but that's it. She doesn't care about like competing in a LAN or whatever and so on. Or she cares about just that moment and that time, and that's it.
The thing
She
is,
doesn't plan on growing.
you know of a plan, if a plan of Steven, I'm losing everything today, I think. You know if a player is good normally when you see them compete because they play under pressure. When you're playing at home, it's
True.
fuck it, anything can happen, you don't care. I'm sure there are a lot who don't come out. What do you think, like, is the, like, I wanted to get into this, is like, obviously there is like the stigma. Someone in the comments, Miflako wrote, young female gamers aren't very open to talk because of the stereotypical thought that gaming is for males
That's true.
only. I don't know, maybe because I have the academy. I don't really see it for girls, girls only. I see it for both, but I see it more male dominated. But what do you think the reason is? Is it because they get picked on? As in, I understand there are those issues, like we can talk about them, but like, what is the main reason? Do you think, like, in general, girls aren't that attracted to maybe certain things like games rather than they would prefer going out, for example? Do they value going out more than staying in and playing? Is it like a lifestyle thing that they don't choose it, or is it they think it's male dominated so they don't feel comfortable going in it? Like, what do you realistically
It's
think it
mostly the
is?
last one, the male-dominated one. First of all, I think personally, there are of course sensitive females that are new to the gaming community and they don't know that it's very toxic. So some females, like if for example, let's say I'm in a Warzone battle, I'm comfortable speaking in an open chat. Why? Because if they hear a female voice, it's either, oh, what is your name? What is your age? Where are you from? Do you have a big ass? Do you have big tits? Or it's either go back to the kitchen, make me a sandwich, cook me this, cook me that, go clean the house. Like, dude, chill. Like, why are you attacking me just because you hear a female voice? Or you just call me a 12-year-old boy? Me personally, nowadays, I don't take it offensive at all because I'm too used to it. Actually, I like to like نحط نسفدهم وجست
I was going to
ها
tell
هي
you,
منك.
it's I think you can like make some fun out of it. All right, let me like, I'll be honest about it. All right, you mentioned saying you're a 12-year-old. Some 12-year-olds, their voice hasn't cracked yet, so they sound like girls.
Yeah,
So I think
true.
it's not like, I know what you mean. You're being compared to a 12-year-old, but it's not because someone's saying you're a young baby. You know what I mean? A
No.
kid. Like, it's true. When young boys, their voice doesn't crack. So sometimes, honestly, I have a deep voice. It's obvious I'm male. You know what I mean? It's very obvious. You're going to find a lot of females with my voice. I hope you don't seek a no of their deep as mine. But that's what I mean. Like, so for example, that's not trying to be stereotypical or offensive. Like, sometimes you really don't know. And sometimes I go, is it a kid or is it a girl? And they go, girl. I go, okay. Because I won't know. And like, I'll want to know because I'm dealing with a kid. I treat them one way. Dealing with someone older, you treat them another way, sort of thing. So that's all right, the 13. But the people saying shit, like, I saw it happen to you firsthand. I'm not sure what stream we were on.
On Pashal's stream.
Pashel, all right, we were on
One that you're
Pashel's stream,
talking about.
and we started playing Valorant, and then you just said, fuck it, I'm leaving, and you told me every 2 seconds it's blah, 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 blah. And I was like, okay, obviously I believe you, and I noticed how frustrated you got, like, as in, so clearly this, like, really happens often. But I think, if let's say you're playing Warzone, and you have 150 people in the server, I think it's those, like, 10 to 15 kids who are being idiots and shouting. I think the majority of 20-year-olds, when they hear a girl, all right, maybe that's where you hear, you have a big ass, you have big tits, and that's stupid shit. But I think I don't think the majority see it that way. I think it's obviously, it's the idiots who are going to be loud and say shit. As in, I don't think you've ever been walking on the road, someone catcalled you and you went, and you gave them your number. You know what I mean? As in, it's a game.
Yeah.
It's just either really bad communication skills, but most of the time they're not catcalling you, so you turn around and give them numbers. They're just having fun with friends, you know what I mean? It's a kind of compliment for a woman, even though they're being vulgar, but at the same time, it's not normally trying to pick you up. So I think it's mostly kids being dumbasses. I don't think the majority of people will see you that way. And I think, let me ask you a question actually. When you go to LANs, do you feel like you're treated like you're part of the community, or you feel like it's a bunch of idiots also?
Nowadays, no, I feel like I'm
Hey,
actually a big part of the community
I think so
nowadays,
too.
thank God. But before, yes, before it was different. I know, like, as I said already before, I was a bit unmature myself. So I used to, like, say stupid things and whatever. So I used to do the stupid things myself. But, I'm still young.
Uh-huh.
Instead of making fun of me or acting like you're my friend, just teach me how to be a better person. I am part of Team Pulse. Hi. And I love them like they're my children. They all call me mother. Every time they're like saying really something stupid in the group chat, or like someone is flipping off about something very stupid, I'd be like, guys, mother is here, what is going on? And I'm not just there to like, because you're an idiot, I don't make fun of them. I try to teach them, like, listen, you don't need to do that. You need to calm down a bit on this, for example.
That's
It's
I think that's what all the young people in anything, not just in esports, in life needs. I think the issue is when it happens publicly and you try to school someone, even if you're doing it nicely for their own good. If it's in public, they feel embarrassed and they act like fucking
yes.
cunts. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But when you're
Yeah.
like you're saying, you're in their group, you're one of the group, and when one of the group, the older persons normally tells them, listen, you're being idiots. They don't go, oh, who the fuck are you? Normally they go like, what? Wait, why am I being an idiot? And they will respect your opinion. Like I notice it a
Yes,
lot
yes, they.
with
Hmm.
the academy, and I also notice it a lot. People talk to me, which that happens in the scene, and sometimes
Hmm.
like I notice they're coming from an angle, and I say certain things, and it levels it a bit because sometimes it's very easy to just get part of a group. So I think when you're really young, you need someone to guide you.
That
But
guardian angel.
I someone to just tell you like, don't be an idiot, to teach you not to be an
Yeah,
idiot, sort of thing. But
yeah.
then a kid's always gonna be a kid in front of their friends. They're gonna act cool. So I think you're right. I think it is toxic and it is shitty. But I think most of the time it's kids. I think most of
Mm.
it's a lot of kids. I think most people, like you're saying, if you had to go to lands and get together gatherings, either because they're not behind the keyboard, they don't say anything. But
Yeah.
most people, I think, treat you well. So I think overall, if there are any gamer girls who are hearing this, it's like this woke culture. It's the little who make a lot of noise, who make a difference, but they make a lot of noise, and they make that little difference, but it's still a small amount. So most people are inviting to women into esports. Most people are
Yes.
inviting, and then obviously you mentioned when people would try to pick you up or mention comments. This is everywhere. If you're going to work somewhere, you're probably going to
Hmm.
find someone who likes you, who wants to try pick you up. If you go out to a nightclub, if you're online, you're young, other kids are young, there's attraction, so you're always going to find
Yeah.
that no matter where you
Hmm.
go. Which if you're that, I don't think is necessarily a problem of girls going into the guys scene, because that's going to happen everywhere. But for girls playing, I think um, it is acceptable. Like a lot of men accept, and boys, I guess, accept girls in general. I don't think they should be intimidated. I don't know if you see it that way. I really don't think they should be intimidated, but
What I'm mostly scared of, like one of a past experience I had, I didn't care, me personally, once again, because now I'm used to it. But having this experience, of course, gets me worried for other female gamers. There was this one time where Danico received a custom invite lobby to League of Legends. And he loves to play with Maltese people, so he just joined. And the first thing they said before they started the game, I wasn't in the game. I was like never mentioned in anything. They were like, whoever win this game takes Rhea White, and I'm like, I'm sorry, who? I'm like, okay, like,
and they knew he
why did I?
was they knew he was
I
with
honestly
you.
have no idea if they knew he was my boyfriend or not.
They're
But
unlucky
he
if they
got
did.
invited to the Discord, and like the owner of the Discord, his like username was We Are Right. And he was just like talking shit about me and stuff. And I was like, you know what? Give me an invite link to the Discord. Let me join and let Rhea White speak to him, Like, how did I pop up into your mind? What just happened? And why did I was mentioned? Did you invite Danico on purpose
How
just
old
to
was
try to
this
make
person
him?
though?
I have no idea who this person is. I have zero
You don't know
idea.
who they are, shit.
No idea who this guy is. Like zero. Like bunch of people in this Discord. There were like 10 people, and I know none of them as except of like one person. But I was like, dude, who is this guy? It was like, oh, don't worry about it. Don't care about it. I was like, sure, but he's mentioning my name. He's talking about me, you know? Like, what have I done to this person? I don't even have zero clue idea who the fuck you are. And he wasn't a kid. He was like a 25-year-old or
Okay, so he
older.
wasn't a kid.
No, 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 no.
Yes,
But
there are a lot of immature people.
yes. Yes.
And you know,
very.
also what I believe that a lot of people don't have confidence to approach girls. So it's their way of flirting is to like try to pick on a girl, but they don't know how to do it, so it just becomes stupid. So I think it could be one of those things. Really,
I've
I
passed through that a
understand.
lot, yeah.
I understand it's annoying, like, but I think majority aren't like that, and I think you're always going to find that. You find people who like what's happening in the past. I think 2 months, Madonna, everyone being follow botted. You find people doing that shit to disrupt your stream. You find people coming in chat and like there was someone with my nickname, there was someone with Captain Gecko's nickname. I think there was someone with your nickname too, like someone doing fake accounts and writing, and there is a lot of
That
this shit.
happened. Yeah, that happened
Ah.
once in Pesha's stream. Like there was like he wrote something. DisJinx is an ass. Like that was his name on Twitch, and then all of a sudden he just went ham and started like personally offending me in a Maltese. I'm like, who the fuck are you, and what have I done to you? Like, Jesus, brother, I'm just here playing games with my friends. Like,
But that's what I
I
say at the
believe
end of the day.
sometimes I believe like, is it some sort of jealousy? Is it some sort of like hate?
I think
Like
insecurity.
it's really confusing. This is the part where I say pause. Why is this guy doing this? It's so okay, yeah, there's immaturity in the way, but what led you to do that?
When it comes to kids, it's just a simple fact of they think they're doing something cool, so they do this shit. Because I see
Yeah.
it every fucking stream. With a lot of kids do it all the time. They don't probably don't really understand like it looks stupid or what damage they can be doing. And most of the time they do that. But another thing is this, and I don't know if it's the same way abroad, but I know it's like that in Malta. Um, at least in the esports scene, people love to jump on the bandwagon of hating someone.
Yeah.
So some people do shit and fuck up, and they get told shit and blah blah blah. But then a lot of people who are never involved, never had the personal experience with the person, hear about it, and without wanting to, you start disliking a person. So rumors can start this bullshit, or actions of a
Yeah.
person can start this bullshit. So many of what it is, it could be something you said once, it could be rumors, it could be, like I said, just insecurities, like you like the person, you don't know how to approach them, so you start making fun of the person, or their friend tells them, you like her, these little kid things, you know, and they start going, oh no, fuck her, you know, and they start trying to prove their
Yeah.
point by being the opposite.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm much older. I'm 39. I really ignore this shit. I honestly don't care.
No, I really
Even
ignore this shit as well, but one of the experiences I had that was like I think it was the worst experience of my life, to be honest, when it comes to being in the esports community and there's rumors about you, and most of the rumors are false that's going on. But there was this one time I was in a relationship with this guy, and there was a LAN going on of gamers, and he knew that I always go to a LAN and help out and whatever and so on. I was like, listen, I'm going for the weekend, I'm going to sleep there, if you like you can come and of course stay with me, but I have to be there because I sleep at like 3 a.m. and I have to wake up again at like 7 a.m. And there was this stupid rumor. I know who started this rumor, so now I know everything, but of course I'm not gonna mention names. But there was this rumor
feel free.
where, I'm sorry, they said I have done a threesome
Oh god.
in this LAN. Of course, this rumor arrived to my ex, and he believed it. Of course, he believed it, and he was lost and confused. And then he started having a conversation with me, like, "What is going on? Why did you cheat on me?" I was like, "What the fuck are you saying? Like, where the did you hear
Yeah, all
this?"
right. No. Over there, I agree with you. When I said, like, I don't give a shit, I ignore it. I'm saying because it doesn't affect me. If someone's going to spread a rumor, it affects my marriage. It would be very, very different, obviously. No,
It
then,
came into a
no, obviously.
situation where unfortunately I got punched in the face. He
Wait,
punched me.
because he
Yes.
thought.
Yes.
All
We
right.
were in
Well,
Pacheville. He got drunk.
two
I saw
things.
him.
1 second. Two things though. One, if anyone's listening, even if you find out your woman or your girl did this shit to you, you don't fucking punch a woman in the face. Two, though I understand the anger and why he would want to punch you in the face, you know what I mean? But I wouldn't
Yeah.
ever tell anyone to do it. But I get the obvious anger because if he believed it and he's like, what the fuck? Especially if he's not in the world of esports and he's like, what the fuck? In her world, this shit happened. I understand the rage, you know what I mean? But no, obviously you don't fucking punch a girl, at least unless she's punching you, you know what I mean? And you defend yourself, but you don't hit someone like that. And even girls, you don't hit a man if
Yeah.
you find out that
Yeah.
shit too,
Yeah.
just to make it obvious. But even more a man who's normally you're bigger, so more damage or more repercussions. But that's different. If someone fucked with you like by spreading a rumor and it ruins your reputation, it's one thing. Or not ruins, I mean it affects your reputation, it's one thing. But
Yeah.
if it ruined a relationship, for example, thanks for the follow. If it ruined a relationship, for example, definitely it's an issue because it doesn't remain just stupid rumors. Let me mute because I have a feeling someone's being funny. So if the people who just followed aren't bots, just talk to me in chat. I'm sorry I muted, but someone's being an idiot. So ignore them. What was I saying? So if someone disrupts your relationship that way, then I don't see it as something stupid. Then someone's obviously fucking with your life. So I would approach that person. I would tell them like, Isma, like, you know what's wrong with you, or at least you don't approach the person, you don't feel like you need to keep back from ever saying anything about this person, you know what I mean?
You know what's the most messed up thing is that I approached this person and I spoke to him. I was like, "Listen, me and you, we're never gonna be friends in our life." And this guy, when he sees me, it's like nothing has ever happened. He was like, "Hey, Rhea, how are you?" I'm like, "Bro, fuck you, man. Don't speak to me, please."
No,
Like,
obviously, no,
how
I
do
don't
you
blame
have
you.
the audacity to come to my face when I know you spread a rumor about me that is truly false? And you be like, nothing has ever happened. Bitch, I got punched because of you. Because of
No,
false rumor you spread it.
no, 100%, you're right, definitely, and I wouldn't talk to the person either. I get you, I understand you, right? And I have no idea who you're talking to. I don't want to know, like, in a way, like, it's none of my business, but I completely understand you. It's different. If someone's just talking shit, trying to talk shit, and people go fuck off, his fake, blah, blah, it's one thing. But if someone's affecting you personally, 100%. It's like, in the way I see it is, I don't stay bringing up a fuss about certain things, but some things do affect you. I'll give you an example. For example, there is a local streamer. That's another thing. When you're saying something, be ready to say it, but obviously to the person. So, like, there was, for example, a local streamer who took part in one of our events, and this guy decided to do a 2-hour stream shitting on us on Level Academy, calling us all kinds of names and all kinds of
Oh,
shit.
okay, okay,
And,
okay.
and this person
We know
has
who you're
no
talking
idea
about.
that the things he was complaining about were all done by LDC, not by Level Academy. Like, we had nothing to do with anything that these people complained about. Let's say these people, because there was a group, but one person went on stream. Obviously, I heard clips, I saw clips, it was deleted, the VODs, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, you lose respect for certain people. You wouldn't want to work with certain people, you know, you look at them in a different light. Because the way I see it is, if there's a problem, you approach me, you understand the situation, you understand, first of all, that we are the problem, not someone else taking care of the tournament, because that's the biggest mistake. You're accusing someone of something he has no control over. So, you don't involve yourself with them anymore. That's what I mean. That's what I do. I don't stay really bringing that much of a fuss back, but I have no problem saying it. So, that's one thing. But no, if something was personally really affecting me, if what, for example, this person said affected my business or it made any difference, then yes, I would talk to the person. I would deal with it differently. But you're always gonna find shit rumors. You're always
Yes.
gonna find the bullshit. And yes, being the minority in the gaming scene, you're going to get it more than other people for sure.
Very.
As,
Very.
and teasing and bullying is very, 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 very normal in this shit. Like
Very common nowadays, mostly. It's
Like-
very, very common.
I joke around about it all the time. Like you take the piss out of Fortnite as a joke because it's a kids' game. I'm joking, you know what I mean? Because it's a fun joke. As I completely understand the technique in Fortnite. I didn't. I used to think it was a very different game. But once I saw good players play it, I was like, man. Like CS, like Valorant, you need that skill. You need those motor
Yes.
skills. It's the same, you know. So even though I joke around about it, I don't really see it that way. I do see it as a game which needs a lot of skill to be at a high level.
Yes.
But then you really find people who hate the groups who played. So I think people take it too fucking seriously, basically. So it's normal in money sports. It's normal to have a lot of groups that will shit on something a lot. So
Yes, very, very.
I don't know. That's what I mean by I don't take it too seriously unless then it starts personally affecting me. So yeah, like Fortnite esports. No, our cooking. I don't mean Fortnite can become an esports. I don't think it's a game which is designed for esports. What I'm saying is even though I joke around about a lot of people, even though I don't like the game, I don't like the way it looks, I don't like the concept of the building, it doesn't make me want to play it in any way or form. But I saw good people play this fucking game, and I look at them and I go, wow, as in the muscle memory, the skill. It's different
Yes.
kind of skill to CS, but it still has a lot of skills. So I completely understand you have to be good. So I get the joke. But some people literally think it's like a completely shit game. Beside the point. What I was saying was it's normal, I think, in esports that you find all this shit. You know what I wanted to ask actually? Have you ever won anything or like came second in a LAN?
In a LAN or like any sort of tournament?
Tournaments involving obviously guys, like what was the reaction of losing to a girl?
We had the 2v2 tournament where me and Danico joined, and
remember that, actually.
there was this team that was on a win streak. It was Kratos or Kermit something, I forgot their name. But they were like on a win streak and we ruined that win streak. So that felt
yes.
like really good. And I know they're really good league players.
But But I think those are a bit mature. Did you ever get a reaction? Because this is why I'm asking. Like in traditional sports, let's call it traditional sports, like in football or in basketball, normally the level from the male athlete is higher. So when the woman normally plays the male professional, the male normally wins it. Obviously, there's size difference, there's muscle difference. You have an advantage. It's like cheats, you know. It's the reason why you have weight classes in martial arts. You don't let a heavyweight fight a lightweight because it's a big advantage. So if a woman's smaller than a man, generally, you see that advantage. So there is the sort of you lost to a girl, to someone smaller than you, and I do it, for example. In esports, that does not count. It's the brain. And if you really want to make an argument, like the highest IQ in the world was recorded was by a woman, and it was like, holy shit, like 2 to 5, like unheard of number. So you can't say women, men, when it comes to the brain, there's the same type of advantage as male have over women in sports. And esports is the brain. It's not only muscle memory, it's a lot of the brain.
Yeah.
So do you still get the same type of reaction of shit you lost to a girl, or you don't see that?
Yes, I do see it
You
a
still
lot.
see it.
Yes, I see it a lot, mostly in CSGO. I think I mostly get it from CSGO.
All right, so it
Like-
does.
Yes, when they know that I'm
esports.
female and I wreck their ass, they're like sending friend requests or like, oh, play with me. A lot of people, when I tell them like, listen, I was Master Guardian Elite, they don't believe me. I'm like, sure, let me prove it to you, no worries. So what's mostly important to me is, listen, that I know I'm good at the game. You know, I am no expert, I am no pro, of course. If I know that I'm shit in the game, I will admit it. And I will just say, listen, I'm shit in the game. But yes, it does feel good. You'd be like, you just told me to go to the kitchen. I just wrecked your ass, you know? Now you go make me a sandwich. You know, it feels amazing.
I think there's the extra happiness when you win then, because it's like
Yes.
extra special when you get this shit.
But I don't like one of the gaming thing issues that there is going on. I don't like to be like, look, because I'm a female. I don't like to include that. There's no because you're a female, you're a male. It's how good you are at it, to be honest. Like, I could have
Yes.
been a male, so what? But
It is how good you are. I think the issue, not the issue. I think the reason that happens is there is the good and the bad that comes with being a girl in gaming in a lot of things. So if you see marketing when it comes to beauty, it's most of the time women. So if you're capable of showing yourself properly, not showing yourself, I mean like being revealing. I mean like looking attractive to the camera, you have a bigger chance of selling or someone clicking rather than the
yep,
next person.
you can be
So
horrible in the game, but as
so
long
you
as
have
you're
that slight
giving beauty,
advantage, and then what you're talking about, then you have all eyes on you, and if you fuck up, then it's because you're a girl, so you have more pressure. So it goes both ways. So I think it's about how you use that advantage.
yes,
I think
that
that's
is
what it
very
is.
true.
Like,
That
how
is
do you
very true.
decide to use the advantage? Because there is a big advantage in being a girl in gaming, and then at the same time, once you're there, you need to like overprove yourself. How let me say that? Because you're a girl, so you have to do something special,
It's
not just
more
be
pressure
good.
on us. It's more pressure on us.
I do think so.
Because you try to show the female community in esports, and if you just fail at it, that's it. You showed no point if you failed it. It's not just because, hey, you attended and that's it. If you failed,
All right, you made a
not a
good
lot of
point.
people take it that way. Some
No,
people
but you
are
do
like,
make a
oh,
good
it's
point.
nice. It's nice to see a female attending, but if you see a female attending, but then she's just like, meh, doing nothing, not even taking the game serious, you're just dropping the community
All
way
right.
more down.
But it's true what you're saying. Let's say, since it's a minority, every time you play in a tournament without wanting to, you're representing women. Whenever I play in a tournament, I'm
Yes.
just fucking playing. So, because you're a minority, you're representing a group every time you play. So,
Yep.
another reason why you have more pressure. I agree with that. Like I'm saying, I think it's all about, and I don't mean for women in chat or anyone listening to this on YouTube. I don't mean go show half your tits so you get views. This is not what I'm saying. I mean like you have the advantage that you can be more clickable. So try take advantage of it. And by take advantage, I don't mean sell out or lose your dignity. As in do what's good to you. Everyone has different principles. So I'm not telling people what to do. I think it's what you have to do. It's like if you're a good player, you have to find a way to get the good player out there and use marketing. So if you're a good player and you're a girl, you have that slight advantage. But then
Yes.
obviously, like we're saying, you have to make sure that when you're being viewed, you prove yourself because there's more
That's it.
representation high, I guess.
That's it.
You ever played, like, for example, with an all-girls team or something like that?
No. No, it's not because I don't want to, but most of the females that I know that, for example, used to play League of Legends, they don't do anymore.
Okay.
They were like in the esports area for like a year and a half, and then that's it. They just gone. Or they don't take the game serious as much as I do, for example.
Okay.
So you need to have a good connection to be able to do this. As we have already spoken in the beginning, a lot of females like get jealous of each other. Like it's just as simple like you have better stats than me. Fuck you, like
You want to be the star, sort of thing. Like everyone wants to
sure.
be the star of the show. So
Yeah.
it's unlucky because it's like a double-edged sword type of thing. So if you're, I don't know how to put it. Like if you're playing full girl team, you're sort of making yourself your thing. So when you play with guys, you're sort of showing equality more. You know what I mean? Like it's normal.
Yeah.
We're just mixing in,
Mhm.
sort of rather than making a statement. But then making a statement sometimes is nice because if you win, then it's like the girls team won. But I think overall, just mixing up is the easiest way to do it.
Yes,
One girl
very.
makes it,
Have
second
you
girl,
ever
third
seen
girl, and then it happens.
have you ever seen a girl team in Malta?
No, and I'm talking in general. I'm talking worldwide because you see
Oh,
girl teams
yeah.
worldwide. But I think the best approach wouldn't to focus on the whole girl thing. I would be focus on the best. If you can make it with one of the best guy teams, just make it like there's
Yeah, for
a
sure.
level because it is a level playing field. It's not like we were saying before other sports. I think that's how the best way to do it instead of emphasizing so much on girls being girls. I think it's just mix, play with everyone else, and if you make it, you make it. If you don't, you don't. But there are always, as in, I have met girls I remember in CS who were really fucking good, like better than 80% of the local players we had in this country. Like I would choose that person on my team, especially because of character and communication, more than 80% of the people who used to play back then. There are good female gamers or women who can make it into esports with other guys. I don't think it's helpful though when they do it just all girls. I think it's a cool statement, but I think it's even more pressure, and I think
Yes,
it's
definitely.
I think it's a game where you don't have female and male division, so you need to forget about it. I don't think focusing on the girl thing is healthy. I think it should just play and be good. I think
Yeah,
that's
I
the best
agree.
answer you can give anyone.
I agree. Yeah, I highly agree about that.
Not that there's anything wrong. Don't get me wrong, because then it's fun.
Nah.
Like even the game show, I wanted to do an all girls thing because I know how competitive girls are, like, so it would be fun, and I could do certain different types of questions. I think I'm hoping because I still have to set them all up. So it is fun. I get it. I think just competing in general in esports is better. 1 second. Let's see what is with at LocksTALK and Stroke, Spooner's girlfriend, Karate. No, she's a beast in martial arts. I know.
Yeah,
She's
I've heard about her. Like she's, they were one day they were asking me, "Hey, you wanna go boxing with Rogue?" I was, "Do you want me dead?" Like,
No, I don't think any
I
girl gamer
usually
should
like to
compete with
sticker
her. No.
myself fragile, and then they want me to box versus,
Yeah,
like
I
Rogue. I'm
think
like, guys, please.
she's been doing it since she was a kid, though, and she takes it very
No.
seriously, and it's in the family. No, she's a very, very, very good martial artist.
Hmm.
But again, I am 100% sure that she had to. I'm not saying spar full on with guys, but I'm sure a lot of people didn't go easy on her, and that's why she's good at certain things. Like most other women in sports, uh, you're treated equally, and
Yeah.
all right. It's different. If I'm giving 20 push-ups, you're giving 10. But like we said, it makes sense with muscle, like with weight classes. You're still treated the same. You still spar the same way. You still. So I think that creates, like I'm saying, like don't do it as girl, girl, guy, guy. Once you mix, you're gonna learn from everyone, and you will get much better. And as that,
Hmm.
like, martial arts is very like that. As in, you compete in divisions of women and men, but in the dojos, if you're a girl, most of the people there are men or boys, most of
Yeah.
them. So you need to learn, and you learn because it's someone who's normally bigger than you. So I'm pretty sure her having her family that way, especially like tuned her to fight really well. I think it would be the same thing with esports. If it doesn't get a focus on girl or boy and you just play, I think they'll be much better. What are chat saying? I'm seeing a lot of lock stocks. Man, there are quite a few good female gamers. I didn't know in Malta was saying that there used to be a lot of female
I'm
gamers
reading
and
it.
teams. And there was a really good all-girl team, Nisa United. I had no idea. I wish
Where are
these,
they now,
I wish
though?
they
Where
still
are they
play us. Yeah,
now? Where are they now? Exactly.
probably
That's
taking
the
care
issue.
of, taking care of kids, Jinx.
Yeah, yeah, okay, fair enough, fair enough.
Like I
Okay.
had a kid, and
You got me
believe
there, you
me,
got me there.
because I'm a male, I get the chance to do this and play more. Because my wife has to takes care of the kids so much more than I do, and she spends so much time and is so much better at me than doing it. So, probably that's it. Like most things with jobs and sports, women when you have a
Hmm.
kid, it becomes very, 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 very different too. Pala responsibilities and time. Where are they now?
Then you,
Multi-edition. What did
yeah.
Danny say? What do you both think about how
What do you
top
both think?
sexualized women? I wanted to talk about this actually a bit later on, but yeah, let's bring it up.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you, what's your take on like today's sort of women? Like I know it's a sensitive topic because there's a lot of misleading and sensitive information being passed around, but is the general direction good? I notice a lot of women don't want to be in relationships. A lot of women are using the like girl power, be independent too much, sleeping around too much, saying I have the power to do my own OnlyFans and open OnlyFans, and maybe if they had certain principles, they went out of the window for money. So let me explain what I'm asking, so I don't get hated by every girl in chat who does these things. So what I mean is, by women staying single or lot, I don't mean that there is anything wrong with being an empowering woman, but for a woman or a man to just think that it's better to be alone rather than have a solid, real fucking partner by your side, you're wrong. Like anyone who thinks that I can say it and I will proudly say it, you're wrong. Like when you have a good partner, if people think that way, maybe they had shit partners. Maybe it's not their fault they think that way. But when you have a good solid partner, things are better. So I can imagine how much better if I'm 80 and I need real help and you have someone next to you who really cares for you. So not, I think, building a family, raising kids, everything I think is better if you have someone helping you who's on the same mutual level as you are. So
Mhm.
this isn't being seen the same way anymore. People want a lot of women remaining single till they are 40, they're rich, and now you start seeing statistics of the last 10 years. There are a lot of women who are rich, have really nice clothes, handbags, and a nice house, but they are very lonely and unhappy. And most of them is because they can't find a good man, because they took the route of things like OnlyFans, which now have OnlyFans. Back then, there were different things. It affects their future. Men then don't want to get with them. They can't find a good man because they've done certain things that keep on affecting them. Like, what's your take on shit like that? And what's your take on girls going on stream, sitting in a hot tub and getting shaba money? Because they are making a lot of fucking money and they don't have to wake up every morning and go to work. They don't have to
Yeah.
struggle. They don't have to bullshit bosses. They don't have to do all this shit. They just do stuff which is easy, but long-term repercussions, in my opinion, are not easy. Long-term repercussions are
Mhm.
going to affect you, and if you have kids, they'll affect your kids a lot. So,
Yes,
sorry, I took
definitely.
a really long time to explain the question, but
No,
I don't
no,
want
it's
anyone
okay.
to clip something and make me seem like I'm just saying, like, fuck women who do this. Because I think if you want to do OnlyFans and make money because that's your goal and that's what you want to do it. It's your body,
Exactly.
it's your life. But you also need to understand why certain men then don't want to go out to you. You can't push the narrative of what's wrong with this, why won't you go? Because yeah, people have different tastes, and some people don't
Yep.
mind someone who slept with 60 people, some people do mind and they wouldn't. So you have to also respect the repercussions of everyone's actions. So I had to explain myself, sorry. So go. What's your thing on, like, I want to get this opinion from a girl herself, tipo.
So, me personally, as you said about the OnlyFans one, like, it's your body, it's your choice, you do whatever you want, of course, like, no one is the boss of you, but I suggest, of course, thinking about your future and don't blame it on men just because, for example, they don't want to date you and stuff, but that's what you said already. Me personally, about the question, what do you both think about the hot tub sexualized women scene in Twitch? Me personally, it needs to stop. Twitch needs to stop it. Twitch is here for gaming community. You know, and the fact that you're just including a simple hot tub stream where I just sit there and if you give me an extra sub, I will put your name on my tits. Just it's dumb. Okay, personally, it's dumb. It's stealing view. It's not stealing viewers, but that person that is watching currently your stream actually has the time or chance to go around other streams and maybe find another female actual gaming streamer, you know? But I believe these hot tub girls or whatever, they need to be on their own platform. They don't need to be here on Twitch. I personally want it to be gone out. Out. Like, I don't mind a real life stream, you know, walking down the street, you went out for dinner. That's all cool. That's all cool. But don't come on Twitch and just sexualize yourself. You have OnlyFans to do that. Just do that. You can use Instagram, you can use Twitter. You have all those platforms. Just leave Twitch as it was. It was never that way, Twitch. It all started with one streamer and then it just started spreading just because they know they're making money. And it's dumb, man. It's really, really dumb. I'm sorry. That's what I personally think, of course. But you can
I
just
agree with you. Um, I don't think its place is on Twitch. I wish
mm,
that it would have another platform for softcore porn, which is pretty much
yes.
almost what it is, which would probably give them more money. But then again, that's OnlyFans, and let's be honest, most of these streams are portals to their OnlyFans. So they won't be making the money off the actual stream on Twitch. They'll be making it through everyone going holy shit and then going to OnlyFans, which is, we spoke about this last time. It's a very different generation thing. Most people in my generation would not spend 1 cent on fucking OnlyFans. Uh, I find it quite ridiculous that you're spending money on these things, but different generations, different tastes, I get. But let me be the devil's advocate, even though I told you I think they should be on a different platform. Because a lot of people say it's not fair, Twitch is for gaming. No, Twitch wasn't always for gaming. Could it be that Twitch went into gaming because that's where the money was, that's where the money remained for a long time, and that's why it loves gaming so much, and now it's like, holy shit, wait a bit, we have the porn revenue without showing porn, and it's fucking working. These idiots are paying a lot of fucking subs just to see someone in a hot tub. They can go to the pool, they can enjoy themselves at the beach for free and see the same women in the
Yeah.
hot tub. So
True.
could it be that now they're seeing the new money, which is porn money, without showing porn, so they're not breaking their own rules, they're not degrading themselves apart to the gamers, but they're seeing more money because at the end of the day, it's a money business. So from a business point of view, I guess it could be that. It
For
could
them, it's
be-
a win-win situation. For them.
and I don't think they have. What I'm trying to say is, I don't think Twitch have a personal interest to protect gamers. I think they found a nice market, and there's a lot of money for it. They found
let's
the
say-
market for people to pay for games. It was the biggest, first successful one there was, I guess.
But let's say, for example, you have, let's say, a 6-year-old son. Do you enjoy knowing they are going on Twitch? No, do you feel safe? You know, they are accessing
No,
Twitch. You know, like.
No. Even though today kids are being taught absurd shit in school at 6
Yes.
years old, but still,
Yes.
no, I don't personally. This is the whole. I saw an argument on Facebook before we went online about someone saying like ballet and pole dancing, they're both very difficult arts. Why is one respected less than the other, sort of thing? As in, no. The way I reason it is, would I like my daughter to do that? If the answer is no, then try push the world towards that place. If you think, yeah, you have no problem with your daughter showing herself with hot tubs on stream to make money, then push towards that place. But I think most dads will tell you, I'd rather she plays the game really well, has a cool character, or is just pretty and playing the game, and maybe she has more attention because she's pretty, but rather than like, I'm gonna put a pool tub in my fucking living room so 13-year-old boys who probably aren't even supposed to be on Twitch have access to this because their parents are like, he's only on Twitch, you know, as in, it is a whole thing where Twitch knows that little kids are being sort of sexually hypnotized into giving money.
Stealing their mom's credit card.
It's just what it is. At the end of the day, it's a bunch of kids who are being
To be honest,
hypnotized.
it's the internet. You can find anything on the internet.
Uh-huh.
It's not just only Twitch.
But because it's
you
on
know?
Twitch, it makes it fine. That's the thing. That's why I don't
yeah.
like it. But at the end of the
Yeah.
day, it's like I said, maybe esports and gamers were in the interest of Twitch. It's where the money happened to be. And now they opened the market of softcore porn that they're making money on, and they're saying, fuck it, it's money. They don't really give a shit. And the more money these streamers make, I guess the more money there's to pass around to people on Twitch. So it
And
kind
more
of
influence.
helps.
And more influence.
it
Softcore
kind of
porn
helps.
has just blew up crazy, man.
you know-
Especially in the COVID period.
What I don't fucking right during COVID period, it was insane. But what I don't like is this. What I don't like isn't because you're making young boys like simp to certain women. What I don't like is you're teaching young women that it doesn't matter if you're not good in school, if all else fails, you can show yourself and make a lot of money. So it's like showing a really easy way out. It's like someone who's born really rich and you keep on telling them their whole life, don't worry, try whatever you want. If it fails, there's always daddy's money. You know, that person is probably not going to be successful himself.
Yeah.
He's probably not going
Yeah.
to be like wise because he's not going to make the right decisions over and over again with no repercussions. So that's what I get scared. Are we teaching the younger generation that if all else fails or you don't give a shit, you don't need to study anymore because if you show your body, enough people will pay for it? Could that be it? Because I do believe that, for example, Andrew Tate and all these people that are coming out and being famous. So whether you agree with them or not, I think the mass of people who want them all cancelled are all the women who are like, shh, shut the fuck up. We're making a lot of money off these little fucking kids who are
Yeah.
influencing. Stop telling
Yeah.
them to have respect for themselves. Because that's the way I see it. A lot of them are influencing kids the right way because they're teaching them, don't go fucking pay this way. Like, build yourself up as a man. Make yourself a valuable person. And girls will come and you won't have a problem being confident. Obviously, it's misinterpreted in a million different ways to make it like misogyny. That's my worry. Are we, even with TikTok, Why does a dumb dance video get more viewership than Jesus fucking Christ a la SpaceX videos? People who are sending shit, but it is a problem with society. So
Yeah.
are we teaching
Yeah.
kids do the stupid like shit because that gives you more viewership and gives you better rewards than doing, or even worse, do something bad, become the villain, and you're rewarded for it, like what happens with a lot of YouTube social media people. Are we
True.
teaching young kids? Because we get it, we're older, like, he's trying to fucking trigger people, like he's trolling, that brings in views. But does a young kid see it and go, fuck it, if I create controversy, I'll just get money for it, and they ruin their lives? I don't know. What's like your take on this? At least from the women's side, are we teaching women to not learn, to not be really independent and just depend on their body?
Nowadays, money is important. Money is very important. And at the stage that we are currently in this world situation, a lot of people just focus only on money. So personally, they do not care about themselves on what they do. As long they see the money going into their bank, they're just happy. They don't need no man, or we don't need no hubby taking out to dinner and buying us food. It's just, I don't know how am I going to explain this in more detail, because honestly, I really disagree with it. Of course, I really do disagree with it.
That's where I get confused. We don't need
It's
someone.
hard.
We don't need someone to buy our dinner. Fine, you can work. You can make more money than your partner, and when you go out, you can pay for the dinner. But it doesn't mean you should hate having a partner or having a. This is all fucking someone getting hurt or someone fucking people over, and they just don't want to admit it. That because I don't understand how, if you find a good partner, it's like having a best friend. No one says, man, having a best friend fucking sucks. It's the point of calling someone a best friend. You have someone who, when you're in your worst days, they know you and they can handle it. When you're in your best days, they can celebrate it with you. Success, failure, everything, when you have loss of some, you have a pillar to hang on. And even you, as a man, you have a woman pillar to hang, like on when you're going through some shit. When you're happy together, it's always sort of a good outcome when you have a good relationship. So I don't
Yeah.
get the whole thing why girls or women mix up being independent and making enough money with having a partner. You can make money. If my wife comes to me tomorrow and tells me, Keith, I'm going to start making $1 million a year, you think I'm going to go, oh, I'm the breadwinner? What the fuck? Who gives a shit? We're a team, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
good. I hope I'll make 2 the next year and you make 6 the year after. Like, that's a team. So I don't understand how people mix up. I don't want a relationship with I want to make my own money and have my own career. And nowadays, you can make your own money. You can have your own career. You can live with a person and still watch your own movies. Like, I don't get it when guy friends tell me, I don't watch horror movies because my girlfriend doesn't like them. And I go, okay, but what about Alone? How don't you
Yeah.
tell her, like, for example, watch your chick flick that I really don't want to see. And I'll go watch my stupid horror film that you really don't want to see. And you know what I mean? Like, this is lacking a lot. I don't see why people don't understand. A good relationship still has these things. And it's always like, fuck having a woman because I can't do this, I can't do that. Isn't the only thing you can't do is be with other people because you made a promise you with that person. But you can enjoy yourself. You can have your free time and you can have your good time together. You can raise a family together. You have a kid. It's hard. Everyone fights. Everyone has problems. But I don't understand why people mix up, well, women especially mix up being independent by making money work with not having a partner. I don't get it. Guys won't complain if you pull out your credit card and say, I'm paying this meal. And it's a treat.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. Why is it? Why do you think it's that? Is it a younger generation thing? Like what? I think it's this influence. That's why I'm asking. I really think it's all this influence.
It's definitely the influence. It's definitely the influence. Like, parents maybe do try their best to teach their children on what's best for them, but nowadays children, when they think about something on what to do, they think about the current situation. They don't think about their future. That is one of the biggest problems. I'm not thinking like, should I eat this sandwich, for example, but I don't think about the consequences that I might have of me eating that sandwich. I'm just thinking about the moment. Listen, I want that sandwich and I'm just going to take it and that's it. I don't care what's going to happen in the future. That's the mentality we're facing right now. Like, YOLO, let's do this. I don't care. Fuck this.
Take it till you make it.
Yeah. It's that mentality is going crazy right now. And even the amount of kids I start hearing them like swearing at 12-year-olds, even less. But there is nothing that we can do. There is nothing that we can do. It has to come from the parents. Like, give them the control, give them the limit. If you don't give them that,
No, I agree. I agree.
you're kind of fucked.
I
You're
think
gonna like,
I'm a new parent, so I'm not in any way or form shitting
yeah.
on parents because like I'm a new parent, so I don't really know what it's like. I'm like my kid's a year and 3 months old, but I do always see a very big correlation between these problems, like bullying. One, I notice it's problems that start at home from the parents, not because the kid is being bullied. That they don't control the kid on the way they act and all this
Yeah.
shit.
Mm-hmm.
um,
Mm-hmm.
I also noticed this thing. If you're my kid, everything you do is perfect, for example. So it doesn't matter, fuck him. I think that's the problem. When I was young, if I did something wrong, my dad would tell me, shut the fuck up, you're wrong. He wouldn't
Yeah.
say, because I don't know this person, all of a sudden my kid is right. And I think that's a big problem. People are being told, you're good, do you, do you, do you. So I think a problem is lack of real fucking friends, straightforward friends who will
Mm-hmm.
just tell you, oi, you're fucking up, stop doing that shit. Instead of just saying you, yeah man, do yourself. I think that's the big problem. And I think,
But I agree and disagree without you about the
Mhm.
friends. I personally myself got stronger and more mature by time, thanks to one, my parents, and thanks to two, the experiences that I passed through. So let's say I had a group of friends. Unfortunately, I had a bad experience with them. I just learned from that. But it has to come from you, you know? You're not just gonna be like, fuck it, we'll see what happens next. You need to take it as a lesson. One thing that I like to say to people is if you fuck up on something, don't go like, oh no, what am I going to do now? There is always next time. Just take it as a lesson. Take it step by step. That's how are you able to work on yourself. But don't be like, how am I going to explain? Like, someone tried to hit on a girl, this girl ghosted him, and that's it. My life is over, and fuck females and whatever. And then the next day, be like, man, I really want a woman in my life. No, just take it easy, take it step by step. Like, listen, she was not worth it. Let me take a break for
or,
myself and
but that's where I see the problem, where I see good friends should be involved in more people's lives because somehow it's frowned upon this when I think it's true friends. For example, I've had friends who fucked up, for example, with their girl, and I've had friends tell them, fuck that bitch, blah, 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 blah. When I looked at the situation, I was like, but my friend was in the wrong. So I explained to him, listen, I think you're in the wrong. You know what I mean? And I think that's what a friend does. It explains to you, he explains to you, if you fuck up, sort of like you have to tell your friend, listen, I think you fucked up. So I think that's the way they'll learn. But most friends are yes men. They'll be like, fuck, always
yeah.
be on your side no matter what. And I think a lot of these videos and a lot of this like encouragement isn't done the right way. I think it's like,
This is why I said I agree and
I know
disagree.
what you mean.
Because, as I said, in my personal life, I've never had like true friends. Till this day, I don't have friends that are like 7 years ago. I met this guy and we're still friends nowadays. You know, like we
Okay.
spoke every day till this day. For example, it's always group hopping. Let me just say that.
It's also part of growing up, though. You change
Yes, it
groups because
is.
you change tastes and things. Like I've noticed, I've changed a lot of groups my whole life, apart from one, which was because of music. But that's a
Okay.
bond that a little bit I will have. But I have changed a lot of groups because of like jobs and different lifestyles and different things you're doing and new hobbies. Back to the other thing, I think the issue is not being honest with your friends, or else parents not teaching their kids accountability, not teaching them that when shit goes wrong and you get punished, don't fucking cry about it because that's what happens. So learn to do
Yeah.
it better next time.
Hmm.
Like the whole everyone gets a fucking trophy today. I hate it. I hate it. I hate that you go to sports day and everyone goes home with a trophy. I don't know, maybe I'm that way. I was very competitive and I was very sportive. Most of the time I got first in things I competed in. When I got second, it took a whole year of fucking hating myself and training to get first. So it pushed me. Like to me, it used to push me. I did used to hate the people who used to win it. I used to hate myself because I wanted to be better, sort of thing. So accountability, I think, is something that people don't have, the young generation. I think that's what will solve a lot of shit, when people just learn to fix yourself. Like, I'm a big fan of, for example, I've been a big fan of him for a long time now, Jordan Peterson. Before he had all the like shit that's going on with his life in the past like 5 years, and it's something I had really learned from a long time. Like, if you want to be happy, you have to fix yourself. So whenever there's something wrong, analyze what the fuck you did wrong. So even if you had a very bad argument with your wife and she was in the wrong, there was a small part where you did something wrong and you need to fix it. You need to fix it. It's sort of, you become a better person, and at the same time you give people less ammo. Because if you're not acting out of line and you're not speaking out of line and you're trying to fucking fix yourself, it gives the other person less bullshit to give you back. So I think that's what a lot of the young generation lack, accountability. And it goes back to what I was saying about the whole OnlyFans things. Like, you can do what you want. It's your body. No one can command you. If it makes, if you need the money, you do it. I do believe that there are people who are strippers and prostitutes because they needed the money for their kids. Because I do believe you would do anything for your kids. But I also believe that the majority do it because it's easy money. Unfortunately, I don't think they understand the future of it. And instead of trying to understand these are repercussions, what they try to do is they say things like, if a man doesn't want you because of your plus, he's not worth it. And it's like, no, if your past meant doing certain things, a lot of men don't like those things, so you have to understand why it doesn't happen. I use an example of the music I like. I listen to death metal. It's very underground music. I want to have it everywhere. It's pissing off that it's difficult to find, like, alright, now online it's easy, but if I go around the mall, I'm not going to find metal shops, I'm not going to find metal clubs, there's only one. But at the same time, I don't go outside saying, this is shit, I want fucking equality. I can't. There are bands called Cannibal Corpse, Morbid Angel, Infant Annihilator. I can't expect them to be on the radio. It's like a part of my reality. Like, yes, when I was young and all I did was wear black and had long hair and fucking everything had to do with death and chaos, people looked at me in a certain way. And now that I've grown up, I say, do you fucking blame them? Certain people with tattoos, same thing. Like, I'll say the honest truth. If I'm walking in a road and I see a group full of tattooed people, now I'm quite heavily tattooed, did you feel? Like if I see a group full of tattooed people and I see a group who are not tattooed, my brain is programmed to say it's safer on the non-tattooed side. So I'm not saying they could be fucking full criminals and the people could be the nicest people on earth. You can't judge by the cover, but automatically, through time, when we were kids, people with tattoos weren't the good people. It's not like it is today. It's like a fashion statement or an art or a lifestyle. Most of the time before, it had a lot to do with crime, with military. So there's a certain background, prison. There's a certain background that comes along with tattoos. In all parts of the world and cultures, most of the time, this is the case, unless you're going to tribes. So it is
Same
kind
goes
of
to piercings as well.
Piercings, the same thing. If you had to see it in tribal places, it's just the way they are. But when you see it in European places, back in the day, piercing meant up to no good. Nowadays, it's like a fashion statement, everyone accepts it, but I still don't blame someone. I had a lot of piercings. I had 3 under my lip. I had here. I had my septum. I had 2 on the eyebrow. I was full of
I
piercings.
actually remember you with this one, I think.
Hafna, is that? And I had 3 here. So I didn't find it weird that people used to be like, whoa, at first. Then they get to know you and they're okay. They don't judge you. But I did never... I always understood, basically, accountability. That's what I'm trying to say. I always understood that looking a certain way or listening to certain music, like, people are going to look at you differently, and I don't expect the world to change. And I really wish that these fucking people would, like, basically approach it the same way. Like, yes, we do something and we want to be accepted, but we have to understand it's either for adults only, or most people aren't fans of it. So they aren't going to like me for it. Instead of try to change the world, try to understand what you're doing, which pisses off the world, I guess. I'm going in a rant, sorry.
It's okay, no worries. Unfortunately, people, still do judge nowadays on how the book cover looks.
And I'm talking this way because it's much easier to talk to someone who's female this way, because I can get a direct, like, no, you're wrong, or this isn't the way I feel, like, rather than it's just a guy ranting about a girl. So that's why I don't mean to be ranting, but I'm just expressing
I
myself.
honestly highly agree with you, and I fully honestly understand you, because I was in the same situation like you. There was even the time where my mom was actually suspecting that I'm a lesbian due to me being always with a group of guys.
Okay.
But yeah, I did have the same situation like you, like always with the black t-shirt and and always with the
And you
military
expected it, I
boots,
assume, eh? You?
spikes, Black Sabbath, Iron
Esatto.
Maiden, and piercing here, and always with the black eyeliner going down my eyes. So I did had that phase, and it was an amazing phase for me. But yeah, I remember walking down to Valletta, and people look at me like, "You need Jesus, man." Like, bro, I'm a nice person. I'm still a nice person. I'm gonna
The
still treat you the same way as Rea would.
Oh,
This is me.
uh, it, I expect them to look at me a certain way, but at the same
Yeah.
time, like you're saying, then they need to get past the fact that you look fucking different in a way.
Yeah.
And just to make it clear, I didn't have any phases. I'm still like that to today. If I wear metal t-shirts non-stop every day, no, not metal. So I still do that. Obviously because of work and certain things like that. I
Yeah.
can't. Like that's the only reason why I pretty much I think don't wear band merch all the time. It's because
Yeah.
of like life in general. Because that's the shit I like wearing most. Maha, you have to expect that there is certain response to what you do. So that's why I was talking about like accountability. That's why I went on a bit of
Rant.
a rant as that way. Let's
Something that
uh-huh.
Envy said that I
And
really
actually,
liked.
Ark wants to ask a question too. Uh-huh.
Envy said the society is to blame. Society forces both parents to work their ass off, leaving no time to raise kids properly. Childcare centers are full to the roof, and the moment the family meets, everyone is on his own device. And that is like
Yeah.
really fucking true. Like, I remember I had this moment, it was really truly heartbreaking. I was at McDonald's with my friend, and it's just the mother, the father, and the son. The mother and the father are just like down on their phones, busy doing what they're doing, and the son is like trying to speak to his parents, and they're like, yeah, yeah.
No, it's
It's just,
horrible.
man, it's
It's doable.
heartaching.
It's doable. I give full credit to both my brothers and their wives because if you see their kids at the table, they are not on the phone all the time. They talk to us. They're
Yeah.
wonderful, intelligent kids. If people do it right. People actually do it
Mm-hmm.
right. And what he mentioned, no discipline, no consequences. That's what I was saying about accountability. Most kids don't have discipline and consequences, and I'm
No,
sick of
no,
seeing
no.
it. And I see the way I was raised. Maybe it was a bit harsh, but there is a middle ground. There is a middle ground to teaching a kid discipline. So I think what most people go through, which I hope I don't go through, is you love your kid so much and you want to love your kid so much that without wanting to, you just say, fuck it, fuck it, fuck it. But then you're not understanding that once they grow up and they're in the real world and they have an asshole boss and they have a tough life and they have this, then they don't know how to handle anything because mom and dad always told you, fuck it, fuck it, fuck it. And then you keep on fucking up, and then why is life doing this to me? And it's like sort of you're molding your kid really badly, I believe, like when you do that. But I can't talk. Me and my wife always talk about it like that. There has to be discipline. You have to make sure she doesn't do this and that. I have like ideas of like, for example, like when they come from school, they do chores, then you give them the Wi-Fi password, like so no internet before doing things. The same way I was with TV series. Because that's another thing I hate though. Everyone acts like the kids of today are devils and we were angels. We were the same shit with TV. Everyone probably in this chat of all ages knows Prince of Bel-Air from top to fucking bottom. It's like we were hooked on TV. We were hooked on a lot of shows like I mentioned. Like even like for example 80% of the people here definitely love Dragon Ball Z. These are all shit that hooked us. So we had the same problem. The only difference is we had parents who used to say, fuck you, you're not watching TV. Full stop. And used to be like,
Yeah, 'cause
okay.
that's the only way to keep you quiet and let me do my job.
But I think that's where the problem is. Like, I do it with my
Yes.
daughter. I do put the TV on because I know it will keep her quiet. But, like, for example,
There's a time to it.
I see people with the pusher. They go out for a walk on the front, and in the pusher, there's an iPad playing cartoons, for example. Those things, no, I want her to see outside.
No.
When I'm driving, I don't want iPads unless we go overland. So, I think certain discipline will teach kids to be tougher, it will teach them to be more respectful. Small things. You go into a shop, you hear a mom go, Miss Shay, for who's foreign, don't touch anything in the shop. And the kid doesn't give a fuck, and they just start touching and pulling things. That didn't exist. That in my generation, that did not fucking happen. When your dad told you don't touch anything, you become soldier. That's it.
Yes.
Because the one
Yes,
time
I
you did, you probably
remember.
spent a summer inside or got the shit kicked out of you. So you don't do it again. I'm not saying go kick the shit out of your kids, but discipline, like show them. Like I spent a summer grounded, for example, a whole summer. a whole summer. And
Ouch,
don't think they
no.
said Ash miskin. No, a
Miskin,
whole
no,
fucking
fuck that.
summer. No, I honestly,
Ah,
but I did some fucking stupid bullshit which I wasn't supposed to do, and I fucking learned never to do it again. Was it too harsh? Yes. But I learned. It could have been 2 weeks and I would have learned. That's what
yeah,
I'm saying. But it was a loud summer. I was only allowed to
yeah.
go to special things like it was my cousin's party and stupid things.
Oh,
You learn from that shit. And
I
I
just
think you
remember
don't know.
having an argument with my mother, and I just hear the wardrobe going, no, 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 no. No, 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 this is not the moment. I ran to the room, slammed the door, I had like this Thomas the Train couch. It wasn't like a really small couch. I just put it in there, barricade the door, and I'm in the corner. And then my mom just barges in with her wooden spoon. But,
Yeah, wooden spoon was
yes,
one.
maybe my mom went a bit too harsh on me, but I personally understand it because I was a child with ADHD. I still have ADHD till nowadays. But my ADHD was a bit too crazy for my mother, and she used to easily lose it with me. But nowadays, I actually do appreciate a lot on how she treated me. I'm not telling you when I have my children, I'm gonna beat them with a wooden spoon. But yes, I already know
There are
my
other
lesson
ways, is
that
that?
discipline is
Yes,
important.
yes,
It
yes.
is very important.
There are other ways. The same. Mine was quite harsh, but no, I would discipline, not the same way. In fact, there are a few chat comments. Let me read, man. What was the worst
Yeah,
punishment you ever
sorry.
served? LocksTALK. Worst punishment I ever got. I got hit fucking hard, and a whole summer. I had a couple of my favorite like toys were broken. No, I got quite a few horrible punishments. Like something around those هنيدوك. And Arko asks, can I ask a question to
I was gonna
Jinx?
say.
How do you deal with male friends? Asking as one of my friends, and I mean friend, as in it's a female, but a lot of people think that we're dating.
Uh, yeah,
That's
this
a
is
very.
something that is.
I don't want to
This
give
is
my opinion
something
on
that.
this.
Um.
I don't believe. Alright, fuck it. I'm gonna say it. I don't believe a girl and a guy at a certain age, very young, yes, can be friends unless there is mutual respect to the partner. So, for example, let's say I knew you and your boyfriend really well for a long time. It's normal if I can have a drink with you and we're out, we're talking. It doesn't look weird because there's that like respect towards your partner.
Yeah.
Like, but I believe when it's just girl and guy, one of them wants each other, the other one doesn't. I just said it. I don't want to start shit, but I think most of the times it is that way.
I
Or
disagree
long time
a
friends. Or long time
bit.
friends.
I disagree a bit with you here because me personally, I did have, of course, a lot of guy best friends. But then, unfortunately, it comes into a certain point where you know that you actually friend zone that guy. So
But
that's the most
that's
messed up
but
part.
that's what most of the time happens.
Yes.
There's the thing that when a girl tells you, I have a lot of guy best friends, and you tell them call the first three and tell them I'm really lonely, I just broke up with my boyfriend, you want to come sleep with me, and most of them will tell you no, I'm not gonna do that because they know the answer. They'll be like, oh, okay, I'm coming, because most of them.
Yeah.
This is the thing. I don't mean Ashihasram, but if you like someone and they don't want to get with you, so in the friend zone, it doesn't mean like, oh, fuck you, you know what I mean? You can still remain friends because you respect the decision that the other person doesn't like you. But I think a big part of it is that. And to answer your question, Arco, from Jinx, I don't know what Jinx will answer different to me, but mine will be like, I think most people see it that way because let me put it this way. I don't know if your case is that way, but 90% of the time I believe that it's a friend zone case. So most people will be like, they're either together or one likes the other. I think that's why most people see it that way. I
Yeah.
don't know if you agree.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of agree here. I had a lot of situations where I think I was like just like a best friend with this guy, but then 3 months pass and be like, listen, I really like you and I can't hold this anymore. Like, okay, well,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I guess. I don't know. The feelings are not mutual. But personally, of what do you think about what your friends think? Just don't care about it, honestly,
Yeah.
on what your friends think. Do what you feel like you got to do. You gave it a shot. Unfortunately, she friend zoned you, for example, but you gave it a shot, and that's it.
As in, I don't
Don't.
know. I'm not saying that's what's happened to Tajih كمان.
No,
I'm not
no,
saying-
no, no. We're not
I'm
saying
saying
that. We're
like
not
most
saying
of the
that.
time that's the situation I
Yeah.
see you call like, and I'm talking about a certain age when people are in relationships. That because when you're young and like you're fucking in your 18s, like it's normal to have a lot of different friends from school and from whatever thing you're doing together, and people hang out in big groups all the time. But I'm saying when you're older and you have relationships, normally I believe that's the case, that when you have two really good friends who are a girl and a guy, one of them doesn't want the other basically, which is fine, and the other person respects it and they remain good friends. But I think that's why people see it as, are they a couple? Because I think it's normal that when
Yeah.
guy and girl stay with each other a lot, they're normally like a couple, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with you here. I agree with you here. Like you start noticing it when like a guy starts doing things for just this one person, you know? It's like, how am I going to explain it? The girl is feeling lonely. Hey, let's go out. Sure.
Uh-huh.
You know, it's
Yeah, the guy friends can really tell you this, because when normally one of your guy friends is in that situation, all the guy friends are going, like how fast we go for these people. It's like, the person's character. They wouldn't be that way, but they'll go out of that way for someone else. So you start saying, all right, obviously he likes her, for example. So I guess for the unfortunate few who are just genuine good friends, because then there are also things like, for example, and I'm saying good friends, because obviously you can have a lot of friends of every, like I'm your friend, you know what I mean? But when you're really close, when you're close to the point where you go to have a drink together all the time, when you hang out together all the time, when it's that close, then it's normal, not supposed to be viewed as a couple.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Kind
what
of.
Daniel just said, and the guy is always there in the flesh when the girlfriend breaks up, and the best friend is the first one to have a shoulder to cry on. So most of the time, that's the way I see it, at least. So I think that's the case.
It's not always. It's not
No,
always.
no, 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 definitely
Because there are
not.
certain cases where they're just best friends and
But a
good
lot
for
of
them, like
times,
brother and sister. But the
exactly, yeah,
most common time is like
exactly.
there's something going on between them, or the guy wants something to
Or
happen
or there
between them.
was a past like that, and
Or
then it
there
just
was.
was accepted. It's
Yeah.
not happening, and it's just a friendship. Well, most of the guys make the first move either because he likes her, because his friends don't, he will never go away and still be friends if you respect her. Exactly. You make the first move. If they don't show it, it doesn't mean you tell the person to fuck off, because that means you're only with them to sleep with them. So if it's not the case, you remain their friend. That's what I meant by, like, you respect the decision, and then maybe you remained friends for years after that or whatever. Let me see. At some point, believed we're gonna live the rest of our lives in our rooms because. Sorry, I was reading something from the top. So
That's okay. It's okay.
let's go to a different discussion. One that I'm
Yes.
asking all the streamers, since there's a lot of hot topics and dramas. Like, in general, what do you think is like one of the big problems of the local community, and like what do you think, if you know of any solution that could start to patch up things or solve things a bit? Obviously, if you want to talk about it.
No.
I'm not
I'm
telling
glad.
you. Wait, one second. Let me re-ask the question,
Recap.
just in case you
Okay.
didn't. I'm not telling you to mention a specific thing that you think is
Yeah.
wrong. I'm saying in general, because we see a lot of issues come up and down. Like, what do you think is a problem with the local community as a mentality? And if you have any issues or any suggestions to solve any problems, what are they? Like, I'll give you an example what I mean. Mine is, I think there is too much unnecessary competition between locals when it should be a teamwork thing. When even if everyone
Each
streams on
other.
the same day, it's like, guys, we're not focusing on the few multis, we're trying to get our own audience. So that's one of the big problems I see. And
Yeah.
another big problem I see is most streamers don't look at their numbers, see what did best, and try to push that. So
Yes.
that's my example. Like, what's yours? If you have any opinions on it.
No, I think I actually do. Not long ago there was this post going on, and I just spit my facts all in just one comment. There is a lot of backstabbers, ass licking between people, and so on. Listen, just state the facts, say the truth. What's the point of you be like, hey, you are right about that, but then the next day you go on this other person and you be like, that bitch, I don't know what he's talking about. You know, like, I'm not telling you to pick sides here or whatever, but listen, it's either you are friends with that person or it's either you hate that person. But if you just hate that person, just end it there. There's no need for extra comments, there's no need for hate or whatever, just leave it there. You know, everyone has their likes and dislikes. And another thing, if you have been a long time in the streaming community, okay, first of all, not everyone is able to make streaming professional or can afford to make it professional. So, respect on what they can provide. If you consider yourself as a professional streamer, please do help other streamers out and not just be like, because I hate this what you do, I hate that what you do. Just help them, give them support, give them courage. Do not make them give up. Because honestly, sometimes the way you guys speak, as in the people that type down comments and stuff, it's, you are not giving people encouragement or excitement to be like, I really want to start streaming. I really want to be part of in this Malta community contact, whatever it is now, streaming, whatever. You know, just keep it plain and simple. State the facts. If you hate the person, just shut up and don't talk to the person. If you like the person, sure, good for you. But mostly important is let's please help each other out. No more drama, no more hating on, how am I going to say it? It's like, no more pointing fingers, no more backstabbing. That is like my most three topics of what I would say. But the most important one is stop it and help each other out. Give encouragement to each other. Give them a try to start streaming. If they need your help, just give it to them. But if you're gonna be like, oh, because I have been in the streaming community for 8 years and I'm considered as a professional and whatever, do it, show it, help your Maltese people fellow out, show your professionalism, and not just by like starting on your stream and that's it. And then if there's drama, you just join the drama and that's it.
Sorry, so I was muted. Sorry. So in a nutshell, people talking behind each other's backs, and instead of pointing out wrong things to help, you're pointing it out just to point out it's shit, basically, or something's bad. I'm going to be honest. I asked this question a lot because of one reason. I haven't mentioned it yet. I've only had a small couple of fuck-ups happen with me. And they were... I don't think they were deliberate to try fuck with me. I think they were stupid mistakes or dumb misunderstandings. Like I mentioned before, the person who was talking shit on stream for I don't know how long, it was a dumb misunderstanding, because if he really knew the story, he would be like, oh, I'm pointing my finger at the wrong person, sort of thing. And I called these people a lot of names for no reason, basically. So I haven't had this experience, but I haven't had people really bitch about me. Hadn't had people try to shit on my name. I try to be helpful to every streamer. If any streamer in here in chat ever asked me a question privately to help them, whether it was with design, with their stream, I always tried to help. If I couldn't, I told them I can't help you. But I always tried to help. So I think there's something going on, like, where it's from both sides. I think if people are genuinely don't give a fuck and actually help other people because they want to, and if they don't, they just don't help, but not make a deal about it, you will be treated better, so you will encounter less of these problems. I'm not saying you, Jinx, you, Tajfri, I'm saying
No.
as streamers and gamers in general. And I think if someone does you wrong, okay, you're going to talk about it. You're going to find similarities with other people where you say like, he did me bad toward this and this happened. But don't turn it into a hate group. Like, deal with your problem, give your opinion, okay, but don't turn into a hate group. Like, unless this person really did something bad to someone. you don't turn into hating them. You just go, yeah, I disagree with the way that was handled. If it
Yeah.
was on my stream, I would tell the person blah blah blah. But I think there is a lot of standing up for each other, but not because, hey, he's my friend, I stood up for him and he can't stand up for himself. I think it's, I want to jump on the bandwagon. It's very, I think it goes both ways. I think as soon as someone gets bitten, they instantly go fuck it and jump on the bandwagon, and automatically then you are part of a tribe, and there's this tribe against this tribe, because the amount of people who talk to me from both tribes or three tribes who are talking shit, and I'm like, I'm hearing things from every side. Obviously I like keep my mouth shut unless it's needed to be said, you know what I mean? But I notice it. I notice there is a lot of, you get hurt and you automatically join a group, and I don't think it needs to be that way. I think you can be honest and neutral with all groups, whether you
One of the
agree or
things that I
disagree.
really mostly hate is when people play innocent.
Uh-huh.
Just stop it.
Excuses and
Just stop it, man. Admit that you have fucked up and that's it. There's no need for you to play all innocent and start causing more drama again.
I think
You know?
that's part of what I'm saying. That's sorry to cut you off.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
If the person who did something wrong admits it, it's the first good step. But then again, the other tribe need to go, okay, he admitted the problem.
That's it.
I'm gonna give a small example. I didn't really want. I'm not going to mention names, but everyone's gonna know like what we're talking about. There was a talk lately between some streamers, and something came up, and at a point the streamer said, "Okay, I understand what I did wrong now." It didn't stop there. It's like the person didn't admit, Isma, I did something wrong. So that's where what I mean by it goes both ways. I think the person needs to admit they did wrong, whoever it is who does something that fucks with other people, or people accuse them of something. So if they're wrong, they say they're wrong. But once they say they're wrong, you have to give a chance. So if you give the person 1, 2, 3 chances, he keeps on doing it, then fuck the person, and you keep on treating them the way you feel is appropriate. And I think it does go both ways. I think like trying to give second chances and understand maybe where it's coming from when the person admits they were wrong is also helpful to like mend things. I'm saying this because like I'm saying, I don't really have issues with people in the local scene. As in, there were, like I'm saying, a couple of things. I'm fine with almost everyone. Whenever I have a problem, I like to talk about it, but that's maybe another thing that solves things, which I really don't like about this scene. If you do something to me, or if I did something to you, send me a message and tell me why did you do that first, before you go tell half the place. Or if you're telling half your community, make sure that you are going to confront the person at least. T-Spark. A big problem is gaming scene is people either young or mildly ignorant. They don't think about consequences. They care how things go. That's what we were talking about before. In fact, we were talking about the problem with accountability. Still, I believe, like I'm saying now, this is a podcast. There are 17 people. It's going, I noticed, up and down from 20s to this number. So there are some people in here who are maybe affected by this, and they have friends, and maybe it's an eye-opener to them, you know, that like some people fuck up and some people say sorry. And if you fucked up and you said sorry, you would like a second chance, so give it. If the person keeps on fucking up, obviously I don't blame you for going, yeah, you're full of shit
The
and
issue
excuses.
is that we gave a second chance. Let's not forget
No.
about that. We gave a second chance, but unfortunately...
No, that's what I'm saying. If you had an issue with someone, you gave a second chance, and they like did something again, then I don't blame you for not having trust in the person. So I'm not talking about those cases. That's, to me, is if someone did something wrong to you and then they wronged you again and wronged you again, then obviously you have to be stupid to trust the person, because you're like, he wronged me 3 times, 4 times, twice, whatever your number is. But I believe if someone did something wrong, and they say, I fucked up over there, I did something wrong, you know, you do give them a chance, because people do fuck up. But obviously, like you're saying, Jinx, if people keep fucking up, then there's a limit to how much you can trust them and to how much you'll put time or effort into listening to them, I guess. So some people do things some genuinely didn't know, and that's what we spoke about also before. Some are just kids and they're doing things in a certain way, like when we were talking about how they talk to girls on stream, and some are just don't know how to handle situations, I guess. So like it's ek. It's a mixture of young and immature people, I guess. So some are immature and some are obviously young, so they obviously have a bit of immaturity because they're fucking young. You can't blame them. So I wanted to ask you, what do you do? Like school, jobs? Did you study something? Did you have like? Because I'm sure your goal in life was just stream or content to work. That was your
Esports,
thing.
just esports.
Okay, so you were always
Just
small level. It was your thing,
yes,
esports. All right. So you didn't
yes,
you
yes.
didn't go for any careers or work.
No, back when I was in MCAST, unfortunately, there wasn't like any course to esports, so I tried to take software engineering, but it only took me 6 months, and I just stopped. I was unemployed with no job. I was unemployed, always using my mother's money. But then my mother one time was like, "Listen, I'm gonna give you no more money to go out." So that's where I came into a point where I had to find a job. So I have no school. I have zero school. I
Zero
have zero,
schooling.
zero schooling.
And what
I
do you
was.
work now? So.
I work in a call center company, but I'm a
Uh-huh.
senior management
All
agent
right. So you're
in
working up
Spain.
there, Jafiri. And does I'm
Yes,
gonna
yes,
ask
in a
you.
financial company.
I want to ask you, does it worry you? Because I know a lot of people, like I was one of them. I didn't really give a shit about school, and then I picked up
Hmm.
schooling late, and I'm happy I picked up schooling though, because when I grew up, I realized there were a lot of benefits to. I went to St. Aloysius. I used to hate it when I was a kid. When I grew up and compared it to other schools, I was like, it did change a lot of things in me. It gave me a lot of good, tipo.
It depends on what your goal is. If I want to be a doctor or a
No,
nurse,
no, no.
school in it.
So
But if it like there are some jobs that honestly everything comes by experience. I started out as a salesperson part-time in a shop in Paula, and nowadays look at me like, okay, I'm not the best. I don't have like the best job, but
but it's
to be
a
able to
big
be a
step up. Oh.
yeah, it's a very big step up to me, and I know that I am promised to, if I keep on going on this way, I can get a promotion to, for example, a team leader.
Eżatt,
You know,
eżatt.
so it's a step by step situation. But me personally, I know it's not a good idea for me to go back to school because I find it hard. I
Yeah,
find it hard
Isma,
for me.
I agree with you, Tab, because today you can fucking learn anything you want online. It's all there, it's all free. And
True.
I studied IT. I worked for IT for over, I think, 12 years. But my main jobs today are what my passions were. It was videography, editing, and stuff, and obviously Evil Academy. It wasn't what I studied. As in, I saw all the benefits I got out of school, but it wasn't what I studied. So it is weird how in Form 3 you choose your subjects, like you know what the fuck you want to do in your life. Like, for
Yeah,
example, I
yeah,
used to
yeah.
hate sciences at school. I regret so much because I love sciences so much and I look up sciences all the time. Now I'm constantly seeing lectures and reading because it's something I missed out because I didn't understand how cool it was when I was young, or maybe it was fucking boring at school. My parents and my family were all business related, so I always went into business rather than sciences. You can get careers by learning things online, by turning your passion into. There are different ways of doing it. I personally, even though I know I have certificates to fall on, and I also have, for example, the skills I developed when it comes to the esports industry, the film industry, but I still worry, like, where is my future going to be? What jobs am I going to be doing? Where do I get my security from? Do you worry, like, since you don't have like a specific thing you studied for, does it give you any worry, or you just say, nah, I'll just work hard and because, like you're saying, there are a lot of jobs today which don't entail
Yeah.
having papers or like.
Honestly, me personally, no. I'm not worried much. As in, like, of course, I can have a better job and a better pay and whatever,
Everyone.
but I saw a path in myself where every time I am improving, because I am capable of teaching myself and having other people teach me on the job and always learning new things. So for me, it's like a step by step. It's like I'm leaping from a leaf to another, like a frog. So, but I do really, of course, highly suggest to stay in school. If you feel like you picked the wrong course and you would like to give out and try to another course, go for it. Don't let anything stop you. Um, and honestly, nowadays, Malta, they give you a lot of options, even in gaming. Even in gaming, now they give you a lot of options where you can take courses. One of the courses I took that actually really helped me starting in my job life was called Youth Guarantee. It's actually a free course, and it helped me a lot. So
What type of course? What does it teach, Imma?
it was mostly of like, what do you do in your work life? It was just that, like, if you go into the office, what is the best thing that you would wear? Honestly, they're just basic. But then what happens is, after the course, a part of you getting paid to go to this course, it was like a 1 month or a 2 month course. It's just like that. After that, they help you find a job. And that's where I got my first full-time job,
Ah, very good.
and that is where it all started. They gave me the basics on what to do and what not to do in a job.
And this is
Because most
something you apply for like a job, or it's something government provide for like students or like.
it's government provided. I was actually one of the first one
Oh,
to
so
apply
good,
once.
alright.
I like, seriously, guys, like, go Google about it. It's actually really cool. Like, now I'm talking when I was 16. Nowadays I'm 25, so it's like 10 years ago. I don't know if something has changed, but I found it really, really good. And I know it's still going on, this youth guarantee thing. So, and it's mostly there for teenagers. For teenagers that stopped schooling and don't want to continue schooling. You
That
know,
it,
so
it, it
it's a
grooms
step.
you. It grooms you for work and grooms you
You
for the
get a
work life.
certificate as well. You get a certificate for it as well, and that helps you a lot.
That's very
To
good.
find. It's a really nice course, and of course I made new friends and stuff. But it helped me make a step in my life to be able to find a job
And
with just this simple one certificate.
is it like a whole academy, a school, or if it's like a class within a school? What is it like?
It was just a class. Like, as I saying, the course. It was the first time that it's operating, so I was one of the first students, and we were only like 12 people, and this was happening in Floriana, like in some sort of big building, like on the top floor. So it was just us.
Ah, cool.
It
So
was
it
just
was
us.
it was specifically for you. It wasn't as that part of
Yes.
another program. Like,
No, 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 no.
so
It
it's
was
really good.
just for us.
And
It was really good.
and what about hobbies and stuff like that? Is it just gaming, or you have other hobbies like you collect things? Do you cosplay? Do you
Yeah,
what's your
I
like?
do collect. I do have my babies over here. I don't know if I can turn the camera. I don't think you would be able to see them, but I can show you to them. I love collecting figurines like a lot,
Okay,
especially when they're gaming related. And I really do love myself having limited edition figurines.
nice. All right.
Like, one of the, let me show you. This
Yes,
is like
yes.
one of
Show
my
us.
favorite figurines. It is number 1104 out of 2500. Let me bring it because it's a big one. Ta-da!
Yeah.
It's really heavy. And this is from the Arcane series.
That's really nice. That's cool.
It's Danica bought it for me for Christmas. I started crying when I saw it,
The
but
collectibles
it's
are nice. I
my
love them.
favorite.
Okay.
It's beautiful.
So gaming
Right?
related, that's the most thing you collect, or even comics. So like,
Yes, I do have some, like, some
wait,
Marvel,
put
some
it put it
Deadpool.
back in place because you're worrying me with it in your hand. Because I love these things. So cool. Put it in a safe place. Stop seeing it wobble in your hand. I don't want to be the cause of its destruction.
I really love how my mom and dad just did a dedicated, like,
Like a section for
uh,
your.
yeah, it's like something like this.
Ah, cool. All right, all right, all right. Nice. You have a nice display for it all.
Yes, yes. I can appreciate them a lot, even when I'm bad and stuff.
Hear me. I have all the masks and the comics swag, but then I have bunch of comics. I have other figurines, and I don't know where I'm gonna put them yet.
That's the issue I currently have right now. I'm in a situation where I cannot buy that much pops or figurines or whatever and so on because I am pretty limited. I have
Oh, I
nowhere to put
understand you.
anymore.
Try have a house and a kid. I don't buy anymore. I
But
stopped collecting comics, figurines.
it doesn't hold me from getting a Jinx figurine though. That never holds me
Alright,
back.
I'm going to be honest.
Oh,
If I had a good month and I came across like a really nice Spawn figurine, I will probably buy it, but it's the only thing. In fact, all these, that's like a small project. I got a printer on purpose. I love masks. I wanted to fill the wall with masks. I have a lot more to
Okay.
print. So like it was like a cheaper, I guess, in the long run version of doing these things. And it's also like I love this creative arts shit. So it's also like a nice, a new hobby I added, I guess. So, which I
Yeah,
don't have a
I
lot of
have
time
this
for now.
something. Yeah, I have this something like anything that I have, it has to be gaming related.
All right, all right. No, I
So,
have a mixture.
so no, no, no. I need to have it gaming related. Like anything it is. Like even if you see my car,
Everything
there
gaming.
there is something gaming related for sure. Like even shirts, my phone case, my anything. It has to be. Gaming is something that helped me a lot in my life. It's helped me
No,
in
good.
a really hard.
Stick to one hobby. Trust me, because
Yes.
I have music, gaming, comics, movies, books, fucking martial arts. Too many guns. Too
I
many, too
I
many things
honestly
I
tried
love.
tried to maybe have like a second hobby. I
Don't.
like really tried, but I just can't. I'm too much in love with my hobby. I am
Good.
really in love
Stick
with
to
my
one.
hobby.
Let's drop one gaming hobbies are never ending in Manila.
Yeah.
Kiko, these will be just gaming. But I have a lot of different hobbies, and you go through phases where you'll be like, I want to buy these things now, I want to buy those things now. Like right now, I'm really planning on getting the original movie posters. I want to get some originals of
Okay.
Hitchcock. I want to get something of The Shining. I want to get some real old horror, the originals, but they're fucking expensive.
Yeah,
What
yes.
about movies and shit like that, though? Are you into them or just games you collect like us?
Oh no, I honestly like I really honestly prefer to just play games instead of watching a
Games you call.
movie or
All right.
yes, yes.
But the my final question is always the best game of all time. That's gonna make you swear. But before we get to that, because I just noticed now we've always been 2 hours. So two last things I wanted to ask you. One, closing statements, basically. What's your general message to women, especially local girls and women in the esports industry? Do you have, if you do you have any tip, any
I
message,
get
any?
this asked question every time when I have like some sort of interview and something, and I always get stuck. It's well, what I would say to the female community, of course, is don't give up. Don't care what other people think or say about you. Do what you love. Keep on doing it. If you know that you can do better, just do it. Don't let anyone stop you.
But all
Cause
right, as in obviously those are good tips, but they are tips that I'm sure they heard a lot to call from other people.
yeah,
When they meet the roadblocks, when they start getting teased just because they're a girl, when they start getting, I don't know, maybe treated differently because they're a girl. What's that tip? How do you suggest they could handle it? Apart from what I always tell people, mute. That's the best thing. Mute. Someone fucking annoys you, just mute them, or at
it's
least
just 3 words. Don't give. Wait, no, sorry.
don't give
Don't
a
give a
fuck.
fuck. It's just that's it. Don't give a fuck.
So like, just keep going forward. Ignore them, just basically.
Yeah,
So
if you
it's
know it
ignore.
makes you happy, don't let anyone stop you.
Yes, for sure. And like I always tell most of the students in the academy, the mute button is a really important, powerful
Yes.
tool because, as in, I know it sounds like a joke, but what I noticed from the mute button is someone's pissing you off and you could be screaming at the mic. You mute them. 2 seconds later, you're so into the game. You forgot about this piece of shit because it's
Hmm.
muted. And then you hear someone else in comms going, shut the fuck up, man. And you'll be like, holy shit, you still didn't unmute him. You know what I mean? And you would have forgotten about him. So you have to swallow your pride and say, fuck answering back. He's pissing me off too much. He's going to ruin my happiness. So press the mute button. That's when you don't know
Yes.
how to handle it. Just mute and you don't have to hear it. You have that option because
Yeah.
it's one of the benefits. If you're in the room with someone and they're fucking talking
I
shit, you
believe
can't just
all
mute
of the
them.
games give you the option to mute
Yes, yes, yes.
nowadays. So
So yeah,
there's no excuse of I can't.
so just mute as that. So now the final question, which is a tough one.
You're gonna
What
kill me,
what
aren't
would you
you?
consider the best game of all time?
For me.
Obviously, yeah. According to you. Like to you, best game of all time, one game that you have to play for the rest of your life. However you want to put it, like what is that one game? Like
a lot of people are gonna hate me, but of course I'm going to say League of Legends. I have been playing League
No,
of Legends for
I thought you
13
would. I thought
years
you would.
now, so like I do love a lot of type of different games. Like if I show you my PC, I have so much games, and every day I'm getting new games and trying out new games. Like last, I have started playing The Forest again. I don't know if you know
Yeah,
about The
yeah, of course.
Forest. But yes, my League of Legends will always be my baby. It's what made me start,
Yeah,
in the
it's
esports
what
life.
pulled you into
Yeah.
the life. Oh. It's a tough
And
question.
Jinx.
Like, and Jinx is that? It's quite obvious. Obviously, your nickname came from Jinx from League of Legends, Zoshov. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a shit question. It's true because like for most of the time, I would have told you like the personal game that gave me most happiness was Counter Strike, but it quickly changed after a year of playing Tarkov. I was like, I've played so many
Okay.
games that I loved and played for a long time, but Tarkov was instantly like, this is the game for Keith. This is the game for
I
LocksTALK.
do
Like,
have moments where I like stop playing League of Legends for quite some time and I like focus on another game.
as
For
that, as
example,
that.
Counter Strike. I
Exactly.
completely quitted League and I just only played
But then you
CS.
always know that that game is that game. Saying
But but
Tarkov,
you know you're going back to League.
for me it's Tarkov. For me, I think Tarkov is like for me as in the game that gave me most pleasure. But if I had to choose, I think the best game of all time, I would say Portal. I think if all games had the brains of Portal, we'll have intelligent fucking people all over the place. Because Portal
Then
has
in that
aiming
sorry.
mechanics, using your head. I don't know what it is, man. That game just like Aperture. That game just I love it.
No,
Love it too
no,
much.
that in that case my like the most beautiful game I have ever played personally in my life, it would be Digimon World. I
All
am
right.
sick in love with that game. Like not long ago, I just noticed they have released it again, but like remastered. But it's not
Okay.
actually like it's called Digimon World Next Order.
I
And
haven't played any of them. I'm not a Digimon. I don't know anything
oh,
about Digimon. I'm old, but
oh
as in
come on!
I know how big they are. I see Jifiri, like the world of it.
Oh,
It's gigantic. No, but
I
that's what I
was.
meant. Tarkov is like what like the perfect game designed for me as a
Mhm,
character. And if I had to say the best game of all time, I don't know. I think I would say Portal. I don't know.
that's cool.
I think that's
That's
it.
cool.
Jinx, it was nice talking to you. We hit the two
It
hour
was
mark.
really nice. Yes, I really enjoyed this.
Mela, I will. I'll talk to you on Discord. I'm pointing up because you're on my monitor, which is above me.
I'm up there.
So that you're up there in my head. So I will close off the stream, rate someone, and I will talk to you on Discord. In the meantime, I will mute you
Bye.
for a second. And guys, everyone go follow her. You have all her socials underneath her. Follow her Facebook, her Twitter, her Instagram, and her Twitch. And yes, hope to see you streaming again soon.
Yes, I hope to as well. See you
Perfect.
guys. Have a lovely night.
See you,
Thank you for
Jinx.
watching.